All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. And it is about time for our annual Game Dev year in review here. So I'm going to be out of town today, so we are recording this and just going to try to keep this short and sweet. We're going to start with chronological order here. Beginning of the year, we went through Global Game Jam, and this year we had 9 jammers with us with 2 games that came out of it. I worked on Route 76. The theme was Root, I think it was Roots. And for our game, we did like a multiplayer dueling pianos racing rhythm game, I think it was. I don't even remember how far we even got with that. And I believe this was Eddie who did Underroot here. And you can go to our Jam site and download these games if you want. Here's everyone that showed up here. Thank you guys for showing up. And after the Global Game Jam, we actually got the opportunity to go to GDC this year. It was me, Justin, and Steve. I think I'm leaving anyone out there. We shared a hotel at San Francisco and got to experience the Game Developer Conference. I'm not going to go through like a slideshow of all of our pictures, but it was awesome. And we'll go through a little bit of what was announced and what we saw there here from both Unity and Epic, as well as some other booths that we saw up there. But we'll just roll through what Unity had to announce there. And kind of the big thing for Unity was Marvel Snap was kind of the breakout hit of this year. I believe it won Mobile Game of the Year, Multiplayer Game of the Year, something like that at the Game Awards here recently. The big thing about that was at Unite. So their big announcements for GDC was their entity component system actually went 1.0, I believe, this year. And also their, the user-generated content service was there. And a lot of their multiplayer services also went, kind of 1.0 earlier this year as well. I don't think we can look it up here. So if we just hit up the dashboard real quick, we can kind of see a little bit of here what that was all about. Products, user-generated content. So here we can have your users upload content to the Unity Cloud service, and other players can search and curate, moderate all the general user content things for your game, which is pretty rad. We did a talk on this a couple months back. It'll be up on YouTube. The big thing from Unreal is their Fortnite editor, UEFN, Unreal editor for Fortnite, and this is basically a giant level editor for Fortnite, which basically turns Fortnite itself into a platform, very similar to like Roblox. I haven't had a chance to dig all the way into this, but apparently it is pretty good. All right, and shortly after GDC, Unity announced their Unity AI platform, I guess you would call it. So Muse is what they're calling it, and it has a number of components to it. Part of it here is Muse Animate, which I believe is in closed beta for right now. It should be going into open beta sometime next year. We also have, let me see, we can pull up Muse. Here we go. So we have Muse Texture, Sprite, Chat, Animate, Behavior, and Sketch. The texture and sprite and chat are live right now. I've got it open here in new window. Yep. So here, this is Muse Chat. You can ask it a thing. How do you make an inverse kinematic leg? And this is their GPT that is trained on all of the Unity documentation. So it will give you code examples and also sources down here at the bottom to the various docs. There is also Sprite, which you can get from the package manager here. The behavior is, you can download this as well, which is actually super neat. This is just a behavior tree node system, and it's in Muse because you can use natural language to generate your nodes and graphs, but you don't have to. Even now, before this is in pre-release, you can download this package and you can build the behavior trees by hand, and it does work and everything. The only part that's not live right now is the natural language component of it. Animate as well is not live just yet. I don't think we can even download it right now, but I'm really looking forward to Animate as well. Texture and Sprite is live now. You can install that. I don't have it installed right now, so I can't really go through that, but we'll probably have a larger talk on all of Muse once it goes fully live. Oh, right, and also Centis, which is, I think, separate from Muse, but Centis is what was Barracuda, which is how you run your models locally in the actual runtime, which is super neat. We can look that up here. Yeah, here's Centis. So using Centis does not cost anything. Using Muse will cost per token generated. So that is something to keep in mind. Muse requires a separate subscription. I believe it is $30 a month alongside if you want to use Unity Pro or whatever. Okay. And then alongside this, they started promoting a bunch of solutions on the asset store as well for AI. We've talked about some of these before. I use InWorld a lot for dialogue generation for characters. I've used Replica as well for the text-to-speech is really good. I think 11 Labs is probably higher quality so far, but I really like how Replica's APIs work. All right, and Apple's VR dropped this year as well. Got announced back in June. I believe it is launching next year, around February, I believe. This is their foray into VR, XR, mixed reality. I believe it is $3,500, which puts it well out of our price range. But it'll be interesting to see what comes out of Apple for that. And I guess in other negative news, I kind of stayed away from all of the layoffs and whatnot that was happening this year throughout the game industry. But this one was kind of too big to kind of pass up. So back in September, Unity announced that they are having a new pricing plan starting with 2023, and this is a runtime fee. So basically, for every install of your game past a certain point, Unity will charge you per install. This is not the original plan. The original plan was way worse in that it was retroactive, which made a lot of people very, very upset. Some are still upset about it. And so there was a whole thing about it. Open letter on the runtime fees. Bottom line is, if you are making more than $1 million per year per game, these changes will apply to you. If you upgrade to the next Unity version, which is Unity 6 sometime next year. We'll go into the new Unity version systems in a little bit, but the basic rundown is you have a choice of either doing the runtime fee or the 2.5% rev share, whichever is cheaper for you. And related to all of this, this actually caused the CEO, John Riccitiello, to actually step down from Unity, and there is now a interim CEO that is moving things forward. There was also for the terms of service during all of this, the terms of service used to be, maybe still is, up on GitHub, which made it easy to look at and go through any changes that they may be coming down the pipe. This was removed from GitHub during this kerfluffle, but I believe that they did add it back to GitHub, so it is still open for you now. So also, while this was happening, the MetaQuest 3 actually ended up launching back in October. This one is $500, and it has the mixed reality features from the Quest Pro, just minus the eye tracking. I have not had a chance to play with one myself, but I do hear that this is the best headset that Meta has released so far. Okay, so this brings us up to Unite this past month, and Unite, I guess the big thing from Unite is they are moving away from the date naming scheme for Unity, and they're just going back to the version numbers. So the next major release will be Unity 6, which is late next year, I believe they said. Normally they would release their long-term support around April-ish, but they will be, I think they said September-ish, third quarter, somewhere here. There is going to be a focus on their multiplayer offerings. They are going to be streamlining how we integrate and install all of the various different multiplayer services that you saw back on the dashboard. So like the lobby and relay and the server hosting, all of that is going to be kind of merged into one API. They talked more about Muse and Centis as well. Don't need to go through all that again. They did have a neat little demo here of talking to a robot taxi driver, which was all done locally as well. So that's going to be really cool. I hope they release that pretty soon. They did release a bunch of templates as well that you can use if you are on the 2023 tech stream as well. And we're not going to watch the keynote. And I guess that's kind of important too. Unity is partnering with Apple on their Vision Pro. There is a Vision OS, which is the OS for the Apple headset that is open in Unity Pro Enterprise and industry customers. And I guess finally, we have the Epic versus Google. So Epic has been going after the mobile device manufacturers, basically because they are not allowing the Epic Store to be on these devices. Earlier this year, maybe late last year, Epic kind of lost their lawsuit with Apple, but here a few weeks ago, the jury came down in favor of Epic in their lawsuit against Google. Apparently, Google basically got caught using unfair business practices to keep other app stores off of the Android platform. So if device manufacturers wanted to have the Google Play Store, they had to meet certain demands from Google, and some of those were keeping other app stores off of the device. Basically, they came down and said that Google should not be able to do that. What came out like last week here is the actual damages that the government settled with Google. And apparently it was just a $700 million payout. Epic was hoping to get rid of the 30% fee that Google takes out of every transaction. That is apparently not happening, and Epic is not real happy about that. But I am not a lawyer, so I am not going to comment much further on that. But I think it is kind of a bigger story than kind of seems at first. All right, so that kind of brings us up to today and in the very near future. So next month, we are going to be once again hosting the Global Game Jam at the University of Memphis. We're also partnering up with Code Crew to co-host during this weekend. So if you guys want to sign up and come join us, make some cool stuff, we will be glad to have you. We'll link this in the description and also in our Discord as well. I think links to both should be here. If not, I'll put it there. And also after that, GDC next year. I am planning on going again. I've got my passes already. We just have to book a hotel room and get our flights and stuff. So yeah, if you guys want to join us in March, that would be super cool. All right. I think that is about it from me. So yeah, thank you guys for following along this year, and hopefully we'll be able to make next year even better.